So you've met someone and started a talking stage. They're texting you regularly, sending you gifts, and asking for more meetups with you and your mahram, but it feels a little bit overwhelming. And then you start to wonder, is this just normal attention from someone with sincere intentions? And this overwhelm I'm feeling, is this just my own attachment insecurities? Or am I being love bombed? Dun dun dun.
That's like Schrodinger's cat.
Yes, normally, but not today. Today we're going to open the box and find out.
Let's find out.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Muslim Marriage Podcast, where we show you how to find and build a healthy marriage as a Muslim. I'm Zara Hassan.
And I'm AJ, and we've been married for 4 years.
If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. It really helps us out. And let's get started.
Let's get started.
So this week's episode is entitled 4 Subtle Ways to Know That You're Being Love Bombed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, let's find out what are these ways. But
let's find out.
Before we start getting into the 4 different ways, let's talk a little bit about what actually is love bombing. Do you know what love bombing is?
I think that love bombing is the concept of giving people gifts in order to make them like you.
So it's specifically gifts.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It could also be words of affirmation.
Yeah, any of the love languages, right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly correct. That's a perfect definition. So this is, again, one of those concepts that's more of an internet concept than a clinical concept. So we're going to use the internet definition so that we're all on the same page. So the internet definition says it is an overwhelming, excessive affection, gifts, and attention early in a relationship designed to gain power and control over the recipient.
Power,
yeah, that's exactly. Remember how
control.
Remember when we spoke about before, when we were talking a lot about narcissism specifically, because love bombing is one of the. You remember, love bombing is one of the tactics used in the initial stages of a relationship with a narcissist
to gain power and control.
Exactly. So in our talking stage, when you and I first met, those 4 very short years ago, alhamdulillah. I remembered that every time that you and I would have a meetup, right? When you would come and meet me and my sister, you would always have a gift.
Yeah.
And after the second time, I was like, am I being love bombed? I think I'm being love bombed.
I was trying to scare you away.
Yeah, I feel safe asking now.
Yeah.
What was all the gifts? What was with all the gifts?
I was trying to make you think that I was clingy, so that you would reject me.
Seriously?
And then I would pursue, like in those movies.
Okay.
And then you'd be like, "Wow, this guy's persistent. All right, let's marry him."
So the relationship was too healthy.
Yeah, I was trying to make it toxic.
So it was uncomfortably reciprocated. You're like, I don't like this.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like normal.
All right. Okay, so let me tell you what was going on from my end, right? Like I said, I remember even the first time that you and I met up, you bought 2 books.
Yeah.
Right? You bought me 2 books that were your favorite books and you wanted to share them with me. You bought me a golden rose, which is important to me because honestly, no one's bought me any kind of flower before you. You bought me a bottle of water, which was weird because I was super thirsty and I don't know how you knew. And this was during the time of COVID. So you bought me a mask, which I also had forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember those. And as time went on I think we had like 6 or 7 meetups before we were married.
Yeah.
Because you just, mashallah, you just kept bringing gifts. I lost track of which ones were which. But there was this overall theme that they were always something that I needed.
Yeah.
Sometimes you accidentally gave me something that I needed, and sometimes it was something that I had mentioned that I need. Like, remember when I told you my headphones had broken?
Yeah.
And I just told you to let you know that why I was going to be speaking from my speakerphone.
Yeah.
Because my headphones were broken. And then during the next meetup, you bought me these very expensive headphones.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was very thoughtful. So all of that, I was worried, legitimately worried. Like, I kept a journal.
Yeah.
I was like, I swear I'm being love bombed. Like, I need to keep my wits about me. So let's talk about why that wasn't love bombing. Like, how would I have known?
Because of the rose that I gave you, right?
Yeah.
It was not a biological rose,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a golden rose.
Okay.
And my hopes for that rose was that because it could not die,
Mm-hmm.
it would be symptomatic of our future relationship, our future marriage.
Which is beautiful.
It would stay alive.
I appreciate that. But what you're saying is that speaks to your intention.
Mm.
So your intention was to build something,
Long lasting.
Yeah, long lasting with me, which is a really good analogy, actually. And you're correct. So let's get started with the science. Overall, when it comes to love bombing versus genuine intention, it's important to remember that there will be a mix of me, like, am I being insecure, and is this person's intention to genuinely manipulate me? That conversation, it's okay for it to go back and forth in your mind, right? Over, like, regardless of the subtle signs that we discussed today, it's going to always be the complete picture of the talking stage, the complete picture of the relationship, that'll give you the full information of whether or not you're being love bombed, right?
Yeah.
Because if this is the only thing, like if you're being given a lot of gifts, a lot of attention, etc., but this person is respecting your boundaries, they apologize, they take accountability properly, they do all of the things that narcissists and manipulators don't do or can't do, then it's likely that this is just their version of genuine attention. Right?
Yeah.
So just to keep that in mind before we get started with the signs. So sign number 1, that you're being love bombed versus being given genuine attention. So boundaries will be respected. What that means is that the way that the affection is going to be shown, or the attention is going to be shown, is going to be through one of the 5 love languages, right?
Yeah.
Gift giving is the most common and often preferred for people who are love bombing, but even for people who are giving genuine attention, gift giving is something that's just, it's the cultural norm of how you show good intentions. So giving gifts. Second way is through words of affirmation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the texting, the speaking on the phone, the poetry. So a lot of people write poetry. I was very lucky that you wrote me poetry. Number 2, through the quality time. Number 4, through acts of service. You know, they might send you food, which is a type of gift, but it could be something more practical. Like you might have come home late from work, or might not be feeling well, so they might be able to have food delivered to your house to help things easier for you and your family. So the acts of service. And finally, there's physical affection, which is obviously not going to be shown at all in the context of a halal relationship. So it's the other 4 of the love languages that are going to be shown in one way or another. Now, in the ways in which they show you, again, what you're going to be paying attention to is whether or not your boundaries are respected the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say gift giving, right? So they might send you gifts at your house. They might send you gifts at your work, and you might tell them, please don't send me gifts at work. That's my boss doesn't like it, or it's unprofessional, or whatever it is. And then they still send you gifts at work, right? Or they might buy for you or bring you gifts, and you might feel somewhat uncomfortable with that, and you would tell them, I just, we just met, and I think that this means something more to you than it does me. I would just prefer if you held back on the gifts, and they still continue to buy gifts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the same with all of the other the other 3 love languages. In some way, if they are respecting boundaries that you put up around the ways in which that they can give you attention, if those boundaries are respected, then it's more likely to be genuine attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So number 2, the second subtle way to tell that you're being love bombed, that the attention, or the quality of the attention, or the quality of the gifts are going to be meaningful, thoughtful, specific to things that are important to you, and they're not generic.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So if somebody is just, you've been in a talking stage for more than a month, they have a decent amount of information about you and your background, but the things that they're getting you are still pretty generic. Or the if they're writing you poetry, it's obviously AI or plagiarized from somewhere else. Or do you see what I'm saying? So things
Yeah.
that are not that
So
they're
they're gifts that don't pay attention to you.
exactly that are not specific to you, that would not really have an impact to you. Because part of the reason why that is because even though there is a whole as part of the initial stage of the idealization stage of a relationship with the narcissist, there is that whole exchange of information where they're overly vulnerable, and they are encouraging you to be vulnerable in order to have information to use against you later, and they're extracting that information about your insecurities. They do a good job at paying attention to when you mention an insecurity. But when you talk about the things that you like as a person, or things that are specific to your identity rather than your insecurities, they don't really pay attention to that. Like we don't really celebrate birthdays as Muslims, but to a lot of people, just as a simple example, birthdays are important, and they'll mention a birthday. Right?
Yeah.
Narcissists have a very hard time remembering other people's birthdays.
I have a hard time remembering my own.
I know. So this could be a regular personality trait.
Yeah.
But just to give you an idea, that they might have a hard time remembering birthdays. Or they might have a difficult time remembering your favorite show or your favorite food, or that you're not feeling well this week, or that you're really busy this week because of that big project or you've been having a hard time sleeping and you've just been really tired. Like all the things that are specific to you are not really paid attention to.
Yeah.
So the attention that they do give to you in terms of one of the 4 love languages is going to be in one way or another generic.
What if it goes in the opposite direction? Like if they do pay attention to you, but for the negative aspects, as you said, right? The insecurities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's an example. Suppose the person was invited to dinner at their house, right? To go meet the mahram. And while they're at the dinner, they see a cockroach.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And they don't bring it up then and there. But during your next meeting, you see that they've brought a cockroach plushie.
Oh, no, that's not.
And they're like, yeah, so it reminded me of your house. I figured you'd want it.
That might be something that actually happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could usually not in the very beginning in the idealization phase, but let's say it's a very long talking stage that's gone well beyond 3 months, right? Yeah, something like that might happen. It sounds funny, but it might happen. I could see it happening. That's a very good point. So the quality of the attention will be generic. The 4th subtle sign that you might be being love bombed is that love bombing in the very beginning, will be very strong and intense in the very beginning, and over time will tend to decrease until it fizzles out
entirely.
Usually by the 1 to 3 month mark, it'll just fizzle out. It's really hard to maintain that intensity of attention especially for somebody who's not used to even pretending to care about other people.
Yeah.
Whereas with genuine intention, someone who's giving you attention because they have genuine intentions. Sorry, it's a bit of a tongue twister. That will start off slower and will actually increase over time until it gets to a plateau level when there's a certain degree of understanding or familiarity. Usually that happens into marriage, right? So during the talking stage, it's usually still on the increase. But it starts off low and then increases slowly over time.
Yeah.
Whereas with love bombing, it starts off very high and decreases over time.
Yeah.
Right? So if you've met somebody and this person has good intentions, they might start, and you've met each other on, we'll say, one of these dating apps, and they're texting you maybe every other day in the beginning, or at least 2 or 3 times a week. That might increase to every other day, increase to every day, etc. So you'll see that there's like a ramp up, a slow, steady ramp up until it reaches a steady state, and they just maintain that steady state because they have no intentions to try to manipulate you. It's sincere.
One might call it a fugue state.
Fugue state?
Yeah.
Why is it?
They entered a fugue state.
What is a fugue state?
That was just a callback from what happened earlier today.
Okay. All right. So it's not a fugue state, but it's you know what? I forgot what I was about to say.
You've entered a fugue state.
See, now that might be a fugue state. All right. So that's okay. So now I genuinely forgot what I was going to say. Hold on. But there's a difference in pattern of how one increases over time and one decreases over time. So you just pay attention to the pattern over time.
Yeah. You were saying that it ramps to the steady
state. Yes, that's right. And the reason is because when someone is genuine and they're talking to you to make you in hopes that you'll be their spouse, and they want to live life with you and take care of you, and inshallah, those are their intentions. The reason why they're giving you attention, right? The reason why they're talking to you is because they enjoy doing it. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they're giving you gifts is because they want you to be happy. Yeah. That's it. They have no intention beyond that. Maybe they would like to increase the chances that maybe you'll accept them. But beyond and sometimes I'll get the question, well, isn't that manipulative? That this man or this woman is buying me gifts, hoping that maybe I will choose them instead of someone else.
Yeah.
So why is that not manipulative?
Okay, so you said that the person buys gifts hoping that you choose them and not someone else?
Yeah, because when you and I were in a talking stage and you were buying me things.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why you were buying me things is to hoping that you would stand out in my mind.
Oh, actually not.
No, not at all?
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the other men.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't even cross my mind.
All right, so you were just trying to make me happy.
Yeah, I was genuinely trying to give you gifts.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I didn't even think it was a possibility that other men would be able to, for me, it was a slim chance.
Yeah.
But for other men, there's no way. There's no way that they would have been able to get you.
Well, for the record, when you and I were in a talking stage, there was nobody else. Right? There was no one else. From the very first conversation, I said, okay, it's Gigi, alhamdulillah. It's Gigi. But what's important here is that, okay, so for some people.
They do things to try to stand out from the crowd. I know
that's what I would do. That's why I was projecting a little bit, but that's what I would do.
I never spoke to multiple women at once. I would only talk with one person, and then if that falls through, I would then continue matching, trying to get another person.
Okay. All right. So that, Barakallah. I think you're just a better person than most of us. But for the rest of us, lesser mortals, right? Sometimes when
I'm also mortal.
You know what? Lesser.
Yeah, lesser mortals.
Yes.
Okay.
Tabarakallah. But it's sometimes when we give gifts or when we, show attention, what we're trying to do is that I like this person. I would like to marry this person, and I'm trying to do what I can, not only for them to see that I like them. That's my intention.
Yeah.
But also maybe a little bit to get them to like me.
Yeah, you're making yourself look like a shiny.
Yeah, right?
In Pokemon terms.
Exactly. It's sort of like when you're applying for a job and you spend some time on your resume or CV to see what the company likes specifically to tailor it to that. Which is like why isn't that manipulative?
So you're making yourself look like a shiny in resume terms.
Yes. All right. So the shinies. So the reason why that's not manipulative is because what you're doing is you're being honest about your intentions.
Yeah.
And you're giving the person as much accurate information as possible so that they can make a conscious decision of whether or not to choose you. Mm-hmm. Similarly, you're giving a company we're not lying on our resumes and CVs. We're just choosing to highlight or prioritize some information above others.
Which is what you should do.
Exactly. so that the company can make a conscious decision to see whether what we're doing is we're persuading.
Yeah.
And when you're persuading, it's with the person's consent, like their full cognitive consent. They're aware of what's happening. You're giving them full information, and they're using that full information to make a decision based on that.
Yeah.
Now, why manipulation is different is that it's not with your cognitive consent. Everything's happening at the subconscious plane. They're hoping that you're going to make a decision without noticing why you're making this decision.
Yeah.
You see? So they might be manipulating, they are actually actively manipulating the information they're giving you. Love bombing is a form of lying, right? So they are lying about the information that they're giving you. They're lying on their resume or CV.
Yeah.
In order to give you a picture, a false picture, to get you to agree without full information. So you're not being persuaded. You're being manipulated.
The best way I can sort of make that picture is if there's a pathway to the left and a pathway to the right, and they say you choose, and then that pathway merges in the middle.
Yeah.
And the only way people would be able to tell that the pathway merges in the middle is if they come as a friend group and one goes to the left, one goes to the right, and they find themselves merging in the middle. And I think in some ways, friends do help you spot manipulators in the same way.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. But hopefully that makes sense. The difference between being manipulated and being persuaded.
Yeah.
So one is it's happening on the conscious plane where everything's with your consent, where you're given accurate information, and the other is in the subconscious plane where you're given false information, and in a way it's without your consent because you're being lied to. So how could you consent? Okay? Okay, so that brings us to the fourth subtle sign that you're being love bombed. It's that love bombers will remind you of the gifts and attention they give you. Or another way of saying this is that they will make it clear how much money or time or effort that they spend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is not true in 100% of the cases, but it is common enough that if you do see this, this is a pretty good indicator that you might be being love bombed.
Can somebody onboard the lost cost fallacy onto you?
Can you explain?
The lost cost fallacy is when you spend enough money on something or enough resources on something that you think giving up at that point is just an egregious error. And you're like, let me just continue spending these resources because I'm bound to get it. And I don't want to have to lose all these resources that I've already spent. And if somebody onboards the lost cost fallacy onto you, is that possible? Like, I mean, look, I've spent all this on you. I've done all this for you. I'm just trying to continue this relationship. I'm just trying to marry you or something like that.
Yeah.
Could somebody pressure you into that?
It happens all the time. All the time. And the terminology for that doesn't exist, but that's exactly what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And another way to say that is they're guilting you. They're guilting you.
Yes, they are guilting you.
Yeah.
I can come up with terminology right now.
All right, let's do it.
The pseudo lost cost fallacy.
Okay. That works. Or the reverse.
Yeah, I guess the reverse. Hey.
You mean sunk cost? You're saying sunk cost.
Yeah, the sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we get to
pseudo sunk. That's so much better.
Okay.
The pseudo sunk cost fallacy.
There you go. All right, that's interesting terminology. But what basically they're guilting you.
Yeah.
Right? They're guilting you, and not if it serves two purposes. The reason why they're telling you, it serves two purposes. First purpose is that they're guilting you. They're letting you know, hey, this is an investment that I'm making. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
The second purpose is for you to know how wealthy they are.
Yeah.
Or how just to have a very good opinion of them, and they want to see and experience you having that good opinion of them, right? For example, they might buy you a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
And the piece of jewelry might be, I don't know, we'll say $500. Right?
Yeah.
They'll let you know it's $500.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll be, or when you open it and you have that expression on your face of, oh my goodness, etc., and you see the price tag, that moment is serves as a supply.
Yeah.
Because you're reinforcing the idea of the image of who they want to be as someone who is wealthy in that moment.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason. So those are the two reasons why they'll let you know.
Such a bar of a line.
Which one?
To say, hey, I've invested a lot of money on you.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, you have a fiduciary responsibility to your stockholders.
I have no stock. If there's only one stockholder, I'm not even going to say that line, but there's no human stockholders.
There aren't, yeah.
Yeah. But that's another, or the fourth subtle sign is that they will let you know how much they have invested. They'll remind you, especially even if it's not so much as during the idealization or the initial honeymoon part where they're trying to land you, trying to get you attached to them. They will definitely remind you during devaluation.
Yeah.
When you start to, like, for lack of a better term, like you start to get really confused about their behavior, of why they're saying all of these little mean jokes, these little mean criticisms, and the positive attention has gone more and more and more rare. And you remind them, hey, what's going on? Things are not as good as they used to be. And they'll remind you, don't you remember in the beginning, I spent all that time on you to make sure that you were happy, and I used to call you and I used to do this. Don't you remember? Like, and now that I need this, I can't believe you're just throwing this in my, like, that's how that conversation will go. I can't believe you're just throwing it in my face now that I'm busy with work, or now that I'm busy doing this. You need to learn how to spend time on your own and not need me so much. Like, that might be how that conversation goes. They will be reminding you during the devaluation stage what they invested in the relationship, especially early on. So to summarize, the 4 subtle signs that you might be being love bombed is: number 1, in whatever way they're giving you attention, any boundaries that you set will not be respected. Number 2, the attention that they give you or the gifts that they give you will be generic, and very rarely meaningful or thoughtful. Number 3, love bombing tends to start really intense, strong, and decreases over time, whereas genuine attention tends to start very low and increases over time until it gets to a steady state. And number 4, people who are love bombing you will be more likely to remind you of the gifts and attention that they've given you, in order to receive a narcissistic supply about how wealthy that you think they are, or how wonderful you think they are, and also to sort of prepare you to be controlled later by instilling some guilt about with the pseudo sunk cost. Yeah,
yes,
there you go. Because for them this is a transaction, right? Everything here is transactional. Whereas for people who have genuine intentions with you, whenever they're showing you positive attention, they just want you to be happy. They want you to like them, so that you might choose them, and that they can spend the rest of their lives taking care of you. Like, they have positive intentions in your favor, whereas with love bombers, they have negative intentions that come at the cost of you, right? So hopefully that makes sense. I know this is one of those that was a little bit heavy on terms, but inshallah it makes sense, right? This wasn't just a fever dream of mine. Everything made sense?
Inshallah, yeah, it made sense.
Okay, all right. Jazaa K'Allah Khayr. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Those of you who are married are probably wondering why we haven't made any episodes for people who are married for some time now. It's because I am in the process of preparing the series for this quarter on emotional unavailability, because it is such a very big and very important topic that, honestly, the way that it's discussed on so many other channels, if it's discussed on so many other channels, is in a very shallow way that doesn't really talk about the mechanisms or how it happens or how to address it in a real way. So I wanted to make sure that I gave you full information. So I've been taking my time with that. I'm finally ready with the first set of episodes. So there will be an episode this Thursday about what exactly is emotional unavailability, particularly for people who are married. So stay tuned for that. If you have made it this far in the episode, Jazaa K'Allah Khayr, we appreciate you more than you know. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. It really, you guys know, I don't even have to say anything. Y'all know how the algorithms work. It would really help us out. For our brothers and sisters in Minnesota, I know there are quite a few of you, because we can see where the locations are. Our prayers are with you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make things easy for you. Everybody stay safe, In Shaa Allah. And for everywhere else in the United States.
Ameen.
Ameen. And yeah, sorry, it's going to take a bit of a turn. And if you are a young woman looking for a spouse and you would like some help on how to deal with the assessing compatibility, feel free to download my free compatibility guide in the description below. That's everything. We appreciate you guys. Everybody stay safe. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.